Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming over to our live webinar masterclass. I'm so happy that everyone's here. Sorry, Haslina, Sophia, Noor. Thank you so much for coming. There's more coming up. Thank you so much. Why not, right? Why not we introduce ourselves in the chat group? Yeah, just type in your name, type in your business name, yeah. And of course, today our special guest is Isabel Leong. So we will be waiting for her in just a minute. For she just she just has to pop in. But let me know your name. I know you guys are really nervous about SEO, or some of you may not have the right direction when it comes to search engine optimization. So I am just so excited. Isabel is here. Hi, Isabel.
Hi. Can you see me? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have to get our.
Yes. Okay. Hi. Can you hear me clearly, or
Very
should I use my earphones?
I think it's so lovely and clear.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so lovely and clear. So I was just introducing the attendees to you, just a little bit of an intro. Everyone just put in your names. Let us know what is the business that you run. If you can actually tell us your Instagram as well as your website URL. That would be good, because Isabel can just quickly, go over the websites, if she has to. But today is, of course, a fantastic, lovely day. Isabel, it's such a bright day, right?
It is. It's sunny. I was just telling my parents.
Nice. So I'm so happy that you're here, Isabel. Thank you so much for agreeing to become our master trainer for this topic that is so close to my heart, because SEO is something that I used to really struggle, because there were so many technical interpretations of SEO. And there's so many ways to go about with SEO. And then when I talked to you, and then we met you, and then we realized that SEO is really like it's really like a component that has like a huge umbrella, and then within it there's so many more things that we can actually learn. So what do you think? Before we start the class, I was just wondering, like, maybe you can let me know, how do you actually dabble into SEO? A short intro, like your exposure to SEO.
Yeah, sure. So I really just started my travel blog, and it was this travel blog that really led this whole journey into content marketing and learning more about SEO.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, guys, you don't have to worry. Isabel will actually go through the entire spectrum of SEO with you. Of course, this is an introduction class. And I just want to let you know that, like, the clients that she has, and of course the resources that she has for everyone, is really gonna help even someone like me who has been quite out of touch with SEO. You can learn something new today. So I don't think they have anything to worry. Yeah, Isabel, it's going to be a great masterclass. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited to get started.
Okay, nice. Okay, without further ado, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat group. I'll be attending. I'll be watching and observing and helping everyone, moderating. I have my girls as well here. We have Chelsea, who's here as well, to moderate. So anything that Isabel is saying and you cannot keep up, I'll be there to just help you guys as well. Okay. So Isabel, thank you so much. I will eject myself, so this is gonna be like full on you. Yeah, and then we'll talk soon. Yeah. Thank you so much, Isabel. Hang on, I'll just eject myself. Yeah. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm just gonna get right started. So you should be able to see my presenter. All right. Okay, let me know if you guys can see this. Can you see the presentation slides? Do comment yes if you can. Yeah, I'm really excited for you to be here too. So, okay, before this course is intended to be really interactive, so I'd love to hear from every one of you, and I value each and every one of your input, so don't be shy to use the comment box to chime in anytime during this class. So I'm a firm believer of putting everything down in pen and paper. So feel free to get a pen and paper on hand and take notes, or Take notes of any ideas that come up anytime during this masterclass. Close your other tabs if you are on your desktop and eliminate any other distractions. If you stick right till the end, I'll have a special freebie for you. If you have any questions at any point of time, we'll have some time at the end of the class for some Q&A session. So feel free to ask your questions at the end. So in case some of you are unfamiliar with me, I'm just going to quickly make an introduction. I'm mostly known for my travel blog, Belle Around the World, which I've been running since 2015. On Instagram, my handle is Belle Around the World with a shortened around, so it's ARD. If you decide to take an Insta story at any point during this class, do tag me so I can repost it. So because writing came naturally to me, I've been blogging since 2006. That's almost like 15 years now. And because I was addicted to life abroad and new discoveries, this travel blog began in 2015. So through my years of blogging and digital marketing, I was able to take my blog full-time and earn an income entirely online without being in a fixed location or to a fixed employer. Yes, you can call me a digital nomad. In the past 2 years, I was able to travel full-time, and this blog is now my gateway to experience adventures I could never dream of doing. So since embarking on this journey, I've been honored to do various speaking engagements, been invited to podcasts, as well as appearing on newspapers, like the Straits Times or the Today paper. I've partnered with various top travel and hospitality brands around the world. And this was all thanks to one thing: increasing my traffic. So by being able to build an authority as a travel expert, I was then trusted and vouched for by all these brands that you see. So one of my students, who after diligently using some of the SEO strategies that I teach, was able to achieve evident traffic results. In 1 month, she only had roughly 35 keywords that were ranking on Google. But at the time when she sent me this message, she actually was able to rank 198 of the keywords. She was also able to push up her rankings from her Google rankings from position 51 to 100 to 11 to 50. So in general, the lower the number, it means the higher you are ranking. And then she very excitedly went on to ranking her posts on page 1 of Google, which is a mean feat, considering her blog is only a few months old. Later on, her latest achievements include a spike of over 2,000 impressions. If you can see this graph, you can see that earlier she did not have any traffic, did not have any impressions at all. And it was through implementing SEO that she started getting more coverage on Google. Google was actually recognizing her, and she was getting over 2,000 impressions in just a couple of days. So this is one of the testimonials from one of my clients that says, Isabel is a pleasure to work with. Most importantly, she delivers SEO results. And this is another one from a fellow travel blogger who I managed to work with as well as an SEO consultant. He commented that I was able to improve his organic traffic by up to nearly 500% in the space of 12 months. So these are the other key examples of keywords that I have my articles ranking first page on, as you can see. So the higher your article is ranking on Google, the greater your visibility and the more people. Because I was able to increase this traffic and increase readers to my site, I was able to earn a full-time income from blogging, all without selling a single product or service on my travel blog. So imagine how much more you can earn if, let's say, you have an e-commerce shop and you are ranking on the first page of Google. These are just some of the activities that I was able to do in my travels around New Zealand, South Africa, and around the world. The opportunities presented to me after establishing myself as a travel expert. Now, would you want a life like this? Maybe not in the field of traveling per se, but would you want to do something that matters to you? Where you can make a difference in your own littlest ways, where you can be regarded as an expert in your field, where people will turn to you for advice on whatever it is you specialize. Can you imagine how much your life can change if you're able to generate leads on autopilot? How much time you'll be able to free up and how much more income you can make? Comment yes in the chat box if that's something you aspire to do. So why am I telling you all this? Because I want to show you that if an average 20-something can achieve her dream of blogging full-time, then achieve work freedom and be regarded as an expert in travel, then you shouldn't be afraid to own and pursue your business too. So let me guess. You're here because comment yes if any of you are struggling with this. You want to increase brand awareness, but you're not sure how beyond social media and running ads constantly. You've heard this advice countless of times. Be present on all social media platforms, post consistently, yet you still struggle with the lead generation. If you have a website, you are generating little to no traffic to your website. Or you're sick of throwing advertising dollars that yield little return. Well, my friend, you are in the right place then. Today, we will cover exactly the importance of content for every business, or rather content marketing. What is SEO and why it can be a game changer for your business? What all top ranking articles have in common, and how to brainstorm topics surrounding your niche. Lastly, we'll cover how exactly to write SEO-friendly articles. We'll cover how to do keyword research and different SEO practices. So at the end of today, you will be able to learn how to brainstorm content related to your brand, how to reinforce your expertise in your niche, how to research keywords in your area of subject, how to write SEO-friendly articles. So let's talk about your business objective. What is your business objective exactly? Feel free to write in the comments box. Do you want to make a difference? Do you want to make lives easier with your product or service? Do you want to make more sales or let more people know about what you're selling? How do you go about achieving that? Through marketing, I suppose. So let's look at a typical marketing funnel. Imagine someone, let's call her Julia. She doesn't know anything about your product or service. So your first job is to make her aware of your product. Pique her interest by helping her realize a need in your product or service. Develop trust between you and her by showing your expertise in whatever you're promoting. And after much consideration and evaluation, eventually convince her that your product is the best fit for her. So this is a typical ideal funnel for turning leads into paying customers, right? Let's look at it from another way. We know that Julia, your product solves her exact need. The first step then is to get her attention, followed by slowly nurturing her trust and eventually turning her into your paying customer. For the purpose of this class today, that's what we'll be focusing on, how to increase awareness and generate leads. So What kind of marketing strategies do you have in place to promote your product or service? Is it social media or ads or word of mouth? So let's talk about social media, right? I love it, you love it, everyone is on social media. It's free, anyone can set up a platform and you can be as creative as you want to be. But the thing is, you need to put in consistent effort. You need to constantly put in new content. And then the thing about social media is new content will bury your old content. And your reach is only limited to the number of followers that you currently have. And what if your product or service is not photogenic or artistic? How do you then promote it, right? The other thing is also social media is only limited to the younger or millennial generation like us. Let's talk about digital ads then. Do you run ads on Google or Facebook or Instagram? It's great because it's targeted, it delivers immediate results, and it's measurable. But the thing about digital ads, it's costly. So for every dollar you put in, you get the result, but it's not passive. As in, if you stop running ads, people are just gonna stop seeing your brand anymore. Again, if you're advertising on Facebook or Instagram, social media platforms, then it's also limited to younger or millennial generation. What if your product is catered to older people? Then you wouldn't probably be in the right platform. And it's also easily ignored because in today's information age, we as users are primed to ignore ads. Are you guilty of that too? Because people can be guarded if they think they are being sold to. So I don't think ads are as effective as it used to be. Now, hands down, word of mouth is going to be the most effective form of marketing because I'm getting recommendations from my circle of friends, people that I trust. Naturally, I would trust everything and anything they recommend. These are, if you're able to nurture your customers to be your brand's advocates, they become your biggest supporters. These are the people who would recommend your product without you even asking them to. But unless you have a huge network of supporters that you've nurtured and turned them into raving fans, it will be hard to reach such a large amount of people. In the beginning, it will be hard to nurture this group of people. So then, where do you begin? My friends, I want to introduce you to a new form of marketing, content. And why do I say that? In this internet age, what users want now is to be informed. They want to know if they're making the right shopping choice. Between choosing from like Adidas or Nike or ASICS shoes, how will you decide which is good for running long distance? Do you look at who advertises better? I don't think so, right? You Google articles, you Google reviews. Is that what you do too? So we as users now are primed to ignore ads. People can be guarded if they think that they're being sold to. Advertisements are no longer as effective. Moral of the story, education is the new marketing. If there's anything you take out of this class, it's that you want to constantly provide value to your audience. Your audience don't like being sold to. They like being taught, guided, they like being advised. Teaching about your business positions you as an authority simply by virtue of the fact that you're showing them how to do something. When someone is open to what you're teaching, they inherently trust information and advice that you're sharing. More and more consumers these days are demanding honest and straight information about products so that they can make their own buying decisions at their own speed. Providing them with important knowledge about your product, your company will form a strong connection with customers as you are considered the most helpful in their quest to learn before deciding. So then creating a relationship with your audience that sees you as a teacher sets you up to be perceived as the domain expert on the subject matter. Then, when it comes to purchasing something, you'll find that these people whom you've educated not only want to pay you, they are even willing to pay more for your expertise because you've positioned yourself as the expert in the subject matter. And this has been proven many times. So a survey has shown that clients who are educated on the pros and cons of a product led them to trusting the firm and their loyalty to them. Customers were more appreciative of the firm because they took time to educate them. So for example, if you're selling mattresses, educate customers on why a solid night's sleep is important. Talk about the science of sleep. Going back to our marketing funnel, sales increase when you honestly evaluate what your target audience needs and then teach them the value of what you're selling. It helps a potential customer see what they need, why they need it, and how your products can help solve the problem. So for example, if your business is about supplements, selling supplements, teach them the importance of nutrition. Why is it essential to take certain vitamins? What are the repercussions of not having enough of a certain vitamin? What kind of best juices are there for different ailments? So you see, by sharing information that revolves around your product or service, you help readers to see that your company, based on all the information that you've shared, would then be the best choice without telling them in their face to buy. So selling to people who truly want to hear from you because you've been sharing useful information with them is far more effective than interrupting strangers online who don't even know you via paid ads. Now that we know the importance of content for our business, how do we use content to generate awareness and interest? The first two pillars of the marketing funnel. So the answer is search engine optimization. For those of you who are not familiar with this term, it's basically optimizing your content for the search engines like Google search or Yahoo search or Bing through different factors that we will cover today. It's getting your article ranking at the top of search queries as high as possible. Because the higher your article is ranking on Google, the greater the visibility and the more people will click to your website and know about it. SEO doesn't just apply to written content. It also applies to images and YouTube and even Pinterest. So for example, in this screenshot, I have one article that I wrote about Labuan Bajo. With the keyword Labuan Bajo, I have my article ranking, as you can see in the red box below. And not only that, my image is also ranking for this particular term. So then why is SEO important? We've already established that content is important for your business. Content is required to create brand awareness, followed by your audience's trust in you as a subject expert. Now, what if you've written hundreds of articles, but none of them are seen by anyone except for the limited few that you push out on in your social platforms or to your friends and family? That's where SEO comes into play. Think of SEO as the bridge that links what you're sharing with your target audience. So you can have 1 million articles, but without SEO knowledge, all those articles and your valuable knowledge will just be buried in the millions of web pages online. Let me give you some illustrations of SEO in practice. So this was an affiliate generating post I published somewhere you can see between April and May of 2008. So if you're unfamiliar with affiliate, put in links with a custom tracking code such that if a user decides to click through and purchase something, I get a commission from the sale. So in a matter of 3 months, as you can see, I was able to go from 0 to 500 page views every week. All it takes is 3 months for me to get 500 views weekly. And this is just one article. Imagine if you had 10 articles, you'll be getting 5,000 views every week. I was generating commissions every single day from people clicking through my links and purchasing hotels that I recommend. So can you see how profitable and scalable SEO can be? This is another snapshot of the traffic of another post. In just 3 months since it was published, it grew from 0 to over 300 weekly page views. And by the time I reached 6 months, I was able to convert over 6,800 worth of hotel bookings. All I had to do was publish one well-written post. Everything else that happened after, the traffic and the affiliate revenue, it just happened on autopilot. I didn't even have to pay any attention to that post or continuously promote them. So now, how would you like if you could publish a post, let it sit on your website on its own, and start earning leads and driving sales on autopilot even when you're asleep? At this point, I have to say that it's more than just ranking on Google, it's being number one. So what I mean is, one study analyzed over 80 million keywords and billions of search results to understand how users engage with the search engine result pages on the left, as you can see. It showed that the first result that you see in Google search has an average click-through of 28.5%. So if 100 people are searching for a particular keyword per month, 30 of them will click on the first result. If you're in position 4 or lower, less than 10 people will click through to your article each month. That is why it's so important to rank as high up on Google search as possible. And now I'm going to teach you how today. What I love about Google is that you can get passive traffic. By that, I mean you can just leave it there and it will continuously bring in traffic to you every single day without you having to actively promote it. It's targeted in the sense that you are targeting people with specific keywords. It's also measurable with Google Analytics, and most importantly, it is free. You don't have to dump in lots of money for ads. So if you're looking for instant fame or success, I have to tell you that is not for you. Based on my experience with different sites, I would say a general rule of thumb is between 2 to 6 months that you notice results after implementing proper SEO strategies. From then on, it goes up and then it stays mostly consistent. So now the $1 million question: how can SEO help your business? Remember this business flow? The first stage is where SEO comes into play. This is how you get tons and tons of lead generation without paying a single dollar for ads. So let's imagine this. If 1,000 people are searching for a particular keyword per month, like how to make candles, right? And then 300 people, based on our earlier statistics, will click on the first result. Assuming you're the first position, that's roughly 300 new leads that you're potentially getting every single month. And if you extrapolate that to a year, and with roughly 10% conversions, you can easily get 360 customers without even lifting a finger. So let's run a poll and see if you guys have a website or a blog or not. Comment in the chat box and let me know if you have a website or a blog. So whether you have it or not, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I see a lot of you having, most of you would actually have a website. That's great. So whether you have a website or not, I really encourage you to guest post. So what I mean by that is by contributing articles to other publications. Because those publications have already done the legwork of amassing a core group of audience. All you're doing is contributing valuable content and leveraging on their existing group of readers. It would also be a much stronger platform than if you were to start a website from scratch that has little visibility. So right now you might be wondering, why start my own website if I can just contribute to other platforms? I 100% recommend you having your own website, as it's a platform you own, where you can concentrate all your resources on. It's a one-stop shop on everything about your subject of expertise. If someone were to ask you, oh, what do you do? You can simply give them your website and show them what a master of life coaching or candle making or interior designing that you are, rather than point them to the scattered articles that you've done for different publications. So whether you have a website or not, guest posting on other publications go hand in hand, because you'll be reaching a new group of audience that hasn't heard about you or your business before. Even after blogging for 5 years, I still contribute to bigger publications than mine. So to give you some examples, for example, if my business revolves around expats, then maybe you'll want to contribute to some well-known publications like Expat Living. If you're targeting food lovers in Singapore, then there are so many food bloggers out there, and there are so many familiar names like Seth Lee or Daniel Food Diary. If, let's say, you want to target Muslim travelers, then a publication, Have Halal Will Travel, is really well known within the Muslim community. These are just some of the publications that I myself have contributed to. It's not hard to find at all. Without going too much into the details, you just need to know where your audience is hanging out at. Think about where they're consuming their information from. Is it from a particular magazine? Is it from like the Smart logo? Then reach out to these publications and ask them if they are open to you submitting your story or article. Now let's talk about the characteristics of top-ranking articles. What does a top-ranking article look like? Basically, there are 3 main building blocks that make up a top-ranking SEO-friendly article. It solves questions that readers are asking. So every time I need an answer to a question, I would just type in on Google search, right? So that is what Google prioritizes. If your article can answer the questions that people are typing on Google, that's what they like. Secondly is user experience. Does your website load really slow? Does it have all the fancy pop-ups that hinders reading? That's not very good, and that's what Google will not like. Backlinks is a whole other topic on its own. So for the purpose of this SEO basics class, we will just focus on this too. Now let's break it down further on what makes SEO-friendly content. So EAT is a ranking factor that Google has rolled in a couple of years ago. It stands for expertise. Are you an expert in the niche that you're talking about? Does your content reflect that? What it is not? Inaccurate, overly salesy, unhelpful, or even outdated content. If you're talking about design, right? You want to give the 2020 top trends. You don't want to be giving 2018 design trends. A stands for authority. Are you an authority figure in your niche? Example, when you think of weight loss, you probably think of London Weight Management. When you think facial, maybe you associate facial with Jeep. So a brand that's reliable, that's familiar, a brand you know you can trust when it comes to the subject in question. That's what you want to associate your brand with, the expertise that you're writing about. T stands for trustworthiness. Are you a trustworthy source? And how do you prove that? It can be in the form of awards. Show off. If you have testimonials from previous customers, show it off. If you have endorsements, if there are other accreditations, if you're writing an article, back it up with statistics and surveys. You'll find that articles ranking at the top of Google are in areas that they are an expert in. If you Google about hiking, top sites that will appear are REI or National Geographic and the likes, because they are an expert in the field of hiking and the outdoors. So whatever you put out there, use those content to reinforce your expertise and your knowledge and what your product or service revolves around. Next, we talk about content structure a bit. If you're someone that just likes to write about anything and everything, then it's going to be hard for you to be an expert in one area. Like, for example, if you write about finance or beauty on its own, it's such a big theme that not just you, it will be very hard for Google to decipher what exactly you're an expert in, and thus not be able to rank your article high on specific keywords. So you want to produce and organize your articles based on topics and subtopics for better clarity, not just for you, but also for Google. This will also be essential in the next step in helping you to brainstorm your article topics. The more specific you're able to hone your topics, the easier it will be to establish yourself as an expert in a particular topic. Like if you're selling bras, don't just focus on sports bras. Maybe sports bras for bigger size people, something like that. So with this example, we're talking about eco-friendly bags, right? You can split the eco-friendly bags theme into two different themes. You can talk everything about eco-friendliness, the environmental impacts, the habits, eco-friendly habits. And then with bags, there are so many things to talk about bags, like the uses and how to style, that sort of thing. So now your next question must be, what topics can you write? Without going too much into detail about brainstorming topics, out of the 17 topics that I share in my SEO course for generating content, let me share 4 core ideas that will stimulate a mountain load of ideas for you. What do your audience want to read about? Think about that. One good resource I found is Answer the Public. So let me share this website with you. Answer the Public. When you go into answerthepublic.com, this is what you will get. And let's say your topic revolves around candles. You can, if you narrow your search to your country, you can click search. So this gives you the UK results, but this is totally free. And with candles, there are a million questions that you can generate from this tool. Will candles keep bugs away? When candles burn slow? How candles were made in the 1800s? Yeah, there are a million, there are so many different content ideas that you can come up with just with this website. Now let me go back to my slides. Some other ideas that you can come up with are, what topics are you excited and passionate to write about? Think about yourself. This is the time to brainstorm and write any ideas that you have on your notepad if you have them. Maybe your topic revolves around seasonal content, like maybe Christmas decorations, like for December. If you're into health and fitness, January would be a year for New Year resolution. So you can create content according to different themes around different seasons. So basically, just idea dump. Affiliate content is, you can think about whether you have any brands that you partner with or that you associate with. Maybe you can think about how to collaborate and come up with content together. Now, in the previous slide, you saw that some general ideas on how to create content ideas by thinking how to pick the brains of your target audience. I highly recommend going through that step before moving on to keyword research, which is validating those broad ideas and using data to filter down into more specific topics. You may have a million articles that you've published, but what good is it if A, no one's searching about this particular topic, and B, what if it's so competitive that it's impossible for you to be ranking on the first page of Google? So keyword research gives you different variations of keywords, different angles that you can use to approach a topic. You can even assess your competitors, what keywords they're ranking for, what are their top pages, who's linking to them, etc. And then use that to further improve your content and brainstorm more ideas. So for the purpose of this class, we will focus on how to find strong keywords that your article will have the highest potential to rank on. Just to show you how important keyword research is to skyrocketing my traffic, this is my organic traffic in the years between 2017 to 2019. So Key Search is a keyword research tool, and you see the point where I started using Key Search. And from 2018 onwards, you can see what a life-changing experience it has been for my traffic growth. Without properly targeting keywords, I would probably still be drowned in the millions of articles on the net and not have achieved such a steadily increasing growth. So here are some well-known keyword research tools out there. Make no mistake, there are free keyword research tools out there, such as Google Keyword Planner, as you might be familiar with. But the free ones, they don't have as comprehensive tracking tools, nor are they as accurate as these dedicated keyword research tools. So before you get put off by the price, I want to tell you that all these tools, they offer limited time trials if you want to try any of them out. I've experimented with a few of these, and unless you are doing keyword research on a B2B, a large scale, Key Search is more than enough to meet the demands of an individual's need. So I've been a loyal user of Key Search for the past few years, and I can say that it is more than enough. As a partner of Key Search, I'm happy to share that I have a discount code of 20% off if you decide to purchase a plan with them. You can cancel it anytime, so don't feel obligated to have a year-long subscription if you're going to use it for 1 month to do all your keyword research. So in the comment box below, that is the direct link to Key Search if you want to check it out. Of course, there's always the option to use Google to do your keyword research. It is completely free, and it can be a good starting point. So here are some tricks to do that. This is really important if you want to learn how to start doing keyword research. So first, if you do a quick Google search of your target keywords before hitting enter, you'll see a drop down of other related terms that Google will generate. These are the long tail keyword ideas that you can think about using. So they're generally maybe 3 or 4 words long. These are what we call long tail keywords. And after you hit enter, the search result page appears, right? Depending on the keywords that you search, sometimes maybe a people also ask section, sometimes like maybe between the second and the third search result. You can use these questions in guiding your topic ideas or furnishing your content. And lastly, when you scroll right down to the bottom of your search result page, you'll see searches related to your keyword term. You can use this to answer the questions of potential readers that will read your article. So there is no better way to teach you how to do keyword research than showing you a real life example. So rather than teaching you all the dry, boring technicalities, I'm going to be doing a live keyword research for one or maybe two of you, live attendees. If you have a keyword or a niche that you'd like me to do keyword research for on the spot now, put it down in the comments below, and we can go through the whole process of keyword research together, while covering some of how these ranking factors will affect whether or not the keywords you choose stand a chance of ranking #1 on Google search. So feel free to brainstorm some keywords that you think your audience would be searching. Put it down in the chat box and we can do the keyword research together. Coffees, yeah, I see coffees. Is there anything more specific than coffees? Like specific topic about coffees, because coffees are really, really very broad. Let's say, okay, hijabs, right? Okay, let's go to my key search. This is the key search, right? I'm assuming you want to target Singapore audience. So this is where you can choose your country. And let's say, what do we have just now? Hijabs. Okay, let's talk about hijabs. Hijabs. Search. Loading. Okay. So once it's loaded, on the right, you can see all the different keyword combinations that there are. So these are the keywords. This is the volume that is generated monthly in Singapore. We'll ignore CPC and PPC for now. This is the score, which is how competitive it is. So in order to narrow it down, I like to go to this filter button. I want my keyword hijabs to appear. Negative words are words that you want to exclude. Number of keywords stand for the number of keywords that you want in your keyword. So usually I aim for long tail keywords of at least 3. And this is the volume of search. So as you can see, hijabs alone has 3,600. I want to target keywords that have at least, let's say, at least 200 searches a month. We don't want it to be too low, right? Because then no one's really searching for it. Okay, and when we filter, you can see, oh, sorry, maybe 100. There are no keywords here. Let's filter maybe 2 keywords. So then when I narrow the number of words to 2, only keywords that have 2 words or more will appear. So when I can click on volume to show this according to descending amount, and you can see that cheap hijabs online are searchable on Google. And then when I click score, okay, this will appear. So basically you want to target anything that's green, because anything that's olive and above, it's 41 and above, it's probably too competitive. So if we look at cheap hijabs online, if I click cheap hijabs online, it appears here. And this section is where the top 10 result on Google search will be. So if you can see, okay, let me break this down for you. PA stands for page authority. DA stands for domain authority. So basically you only really need to look at domain authority. You can ignore this too for now. Title, description, and URL. So what this means, the no and the yeses, what this means is, do the keywords cheap hijabs online appear in your article title? Do they appear in your description? Do they appear in your URL? So apparently none, because all of these matters in terms of how to rank, how highly you can rank on Google. So assuming you want to rank for cheap hijabs online, right? If you can look at, I'll show you how to check what your page authority is later with Moz. But assuming you have a DA of, let's say, 20, right? Then if you write an article that says cheap hijabs online, you can probably outrank all these websites that have DA of less than 20. And you will strengthen your position even more if you can you can use the keywords in your title, in your description, and in your URL. So cheap hijabs online. It should appear in your title, in your description, and in your URL. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know if you guys understand. Okay, let me just give you another example. Let's talk about maybe soy wax candles. And I search it on the Singapore audience. This is the different combinations that the keywords have surrounding soy wax candles. I can filter it down to, so I want soy in my keyword, and I want plus candles. If I filter this, you can see that the keywords number has reduced. And if, let's say, I want to target, let's see, what's the descending wheel? Yeah, okay, that's good enough for us. So if, let's say, we do a quick competitiveness check, you can see that soy candles, there are 170 searches a month. And green is great because it's not too competitive. Like you see 44. Okay, let's look at for the soy-based candles where the competition is 44. Assuming we have a domain authority of only 20, you can see that the top 10 results when people search for soy-based candles, the top 10 results, already 7 of these articles have over 60 score in domain authority. So it will be really difficult for you to rank and be better than like Harper's Bazaar or Amazon. It's going to be harder for you to outrank them. Not that it's not possible, but it's going to be harder. So now let's look at this soy candles, which looks very promising because it only has 20 for the competition score and quite high volume. So when we click on soy candles, this is the search trend. You can see it peaks in December towards the year end. And these are the results of the top 10 results in the Google search pages. So we're assuming again, your website is a DA, domain authority of 20. So then if you have these keywords, soy candles, appearing in your title, in your description, in your URL, like this town and country mag, you can see that they have soy candles in their URL here, as well as Oprah mag. So if you're able to have those keywords in your title, description, and URL, then you have a high chance of outranking, say this one, Artisan of Scents, or even Sally's Room, because you have a higher DA than them, and you also have your keywords in your title, description, and URL. So you see how it goes? Yeah, so I'll just continue with my slides. But if you have any other questions regarding this keyword tool, I'm happy to answer them later on. Now going back to our slides. So yeah, I've basically explained is number of links. We will cover that later. Title, description, URL, right? And then the keyword filters that I like to use, because we want to target long tail keywords, we try to aim for at least 2 or 3 words in the keyword phrase. And then a score, green score, anything less than 40. Search volume, ideally more than 100. But if you are a very niche topic like hijabs that we saw, there are not many searches, but it's also not competitive at all. So if you wanted to rank for all the hijab keyword ideas, you can easily rank for them if you really put in those if you really put in your keywords in the title, description, and URL. So I'm just going to put it here for you to reference when you get the slides later on. So with the keywords that you've selected, what makes up an SEO friendly article? What do you have to take note when it comes to writing the actual article? So the most important keyword, the main keywords that you want to rank for, like just now soy candles, right? Or maybe cheap hijabs. You want them to appear in the following places. So for convenience, I have uploaded this on-page SEO checklist that you can download right now for reference, but I'm going to show you where exactly to place these keywords and also where exactly to place it in terms of your headings and your meta description and image description. So I'm going to toggle into my WordPress now. WordPress. Okay. Okay, so this is a WordPress editor, right? You want your target keywords. So just now we searched maybe soy wax candles. You want soy wax candles to appear in the main title, of course. This is the title, soy wax candles. And then this is your permalink, which is your URL. Remember, we wanted our keywords in our URL as well. So it should be here, soy wax candles. And it should also be, if you've downloaded my on-page SEO checklist, you will see that we want soy wax candles to be somewhere in the first paragraph. Of course, you don't want a keyword stuff, but you want to naturally place them in the first paragraph as much as you can, and also in your titles. So as you go down as you go down and write your article, you will have titles and headings in to section your articles, right? You want soy wax candles appearing in your heading 2 and your heading 3, which in my SEO checklist, it says H2 headings and H3 headings. And also you want your target keywords spread out throughout the text. Just now we saw different variations of similar keywords, right? So like soy candles, soy wax candles, natural soy candles, best soy candles. So if you have come up with a list of different keywords that you want to use, those supporting keywords can be used throughout the text and even in your image as well. So for example, if like I wanted this in my image, you want to have your keyword in your description, in your title, in your alt text. So try and have soy wax candles in them. Of course, you want to describe the image as accurately as you can. But the point here is to also include those keywords into your alt text, your title, and your description before you insert into the post, if you are including images, right? And then there is also one section where I talked about putting keywords in your meta description. So what I mean by meta description is this is what you see. So when you have in your Google search result pages, you usually have your title and then your URL and then a paragraph describing what this title is about. So if you have the plugin, if you're using WordPress, I recommend you to download Rank Math because it allows you to put in your meta description here very quickly, very easily. So of course you want to describe what your article is about, but also try and have the keywords in your description. This is what I call the meta description. Now, in terms, I hope this is clear. If there's anything you have questions about, feel free to ask them. Going back into my slides, in terms of, okay, let's talk about content. In terms of content, long articles generally show Google that your content is valuable. Look at how many words your top pages of your target keywords have on Google. Just do a quick keyword research on Google. This could be an indicator on why Google favors them. As a rule of thumb, I recommend at least 2,000 words. But again, this depends on your niche. Like travel is really very popular, very competitive. Coffee is pretty competitive as well, but if you're able to hone in on a specific niche, like maybe cold brew coffees, then you can write very targeted and very informative posts about something specific like cold brew coffees, then it would be much easier to rank even if you don't write like 2,000 or 5,000 words. But in general, an average web page that ranks on page 1 of Google contains 2,200 words. Try to have short paragraphs for easy reading and so that it's mobile friendly as well. You can use this website called Hemingway app to test your readability. So it is over here. Just gonna quickly show you how the Hemingway app looks like. Yeah, once you type in hemingwayapp.com, this is a sample text and this is the readability grade. So try and aim between 5 and 9 for readability grade level so that it's good. It shows you the number of words, of course, the more the merrier. And then it's something similar to Grammarly, but it's more comprehensive. So they will give you different suggestions based on different colors. So it's very colorful, it's very fun to use. As you type, it will give you suggestions on how to improve it. Now, going back to my slides, what else should we pay attention to in terms of our content? Okay, so you want to have images in your articles to break up chunks of text. It also helps with readability and just the overall user experience. It helps with SEO when your keywords are used to describe the images where I showed you just now, where you put in the keywords in the images. That's how you rank your images on Google as well. So try to incorporate different forms of multimedia to cater to different user experience, like videos or having slides or infographics. You can also repurpose all this info into different mediums, like on YouTube or on LinkedIn. If you're able to follow all these guidelines, you're well on your way to ranking on the first page of Google for the keywords that you've targeted, not just for your article, but also for your images. So yeah, this is, as mentioned, my fellow travel blogging friend whom I've been able to increase organic traffic by up to nearly 500%. It is very scalable depending on how hard at work, how dedicated you are with optimizing your keywords. And as mentioned, content is the first step in having an ever-growing audience. SEO is what will equip you to achieve an ever-growing and constant stream of audience that will turn into your potential customers. It is the answer to having passive income, money that will come in on autopilot. So hopefully, if you stick around long enough, I'll be able to share more tips with you on how to turn readers exactly from knowing you to liking you and eventually trusting you enough to be your customer and advocates of your brand. Let me know if you have any questions from this masterclass. I will try to answer them with the remaining time that we have. I have some free resources on my blog on everything from how to start a blog properly, how to set up your email address so that it's professional looking, to branding tips and Instagram tips. So comment yes if you would like me to send these resources to you. And lastly, I would like to welcome you to this private Facebook community if you're interested in updates and tips on growing your traffic with content. I've just pasted the link to this group. I also look forward to interacting with you with the Nimble community, and I really hope to see you guys soon. Yeah, feel free to ask if you have any questions. Otherwise, this is me again. You can reach me on various platforms. I have an online presence of almost about every platform. Yeah. So feel free to get in touch if you want to inquire about my SEO courses, which I really go in depth, and there are video tutorials to guide you step by step. Or even if you need specific advice on starting out, you can take a screenshot or take a picture of this page so you know how to contact me later. But I'm really glad that you guys all stuck around, and thank you very much. I hope it was all clear. Yeah, so if you have any further questions or any confusion with key search or any other tool, feel free to drop me a message on any of these platforms. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. I'm sure you'll be famished by now. It's past lunch now. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Thanks, everyone.